So guys, in this video we are going to talk about this attack called XML external entity. So this is based on this XML parsers. So first let's learn about this XML file format. So let's first learn about this what is XML. XML stands for extensible markup language. It is a markup language just like HTML, but in HTML there are already predefined tags like h1, h2 and paragraph, anchor, etc. But this XML is a user based tag. I mean, you can use the custom tags in place of those h1, h2, etc. So why do you want these custom tags? Means you need to use it for storing and transporting data. Suppose if you want to send this data, you can see here mail and this to Falcon and from feast subject about XXCE, text is equals to teach about XXCE. So you can see the mail has been closed. You can see this similar to this HTML. There is a paragraph and the body, and this is the tags and the data. So what this XML parsers does is they will extract this top element, and then they will extract the next element, and then they will extract the data inside this. So they will form a tree like structure. I will show you Java XML parser. So let me show you how they will parse. So one type is they will parse like a tree like structure. They will go from the top of the element 2, and they will form like tree from the sub elements, and then inside the sub elements, if there are any sub elements, they will form another node, and they will finally extract the data. So this will be like example. You can see there is a class, and inside the class there are students information. You can see student and roll number 393 and first time, last time, nickname and marks. So this is used to store this student information, and on the server side or the receiver side you can just use this parser to get the all the information. So why this XML means different web services runs on different server side languages. Suppose you may build up a website using this PHP, and someone may build up using Python. So in order to exchange this data, uh, this XML is very suitable because it's not programming independent, and you can just, it's like markup language. You can just use this data and send to any application, and in their own programming languages there are parsers. So now I am showing you this XML Java XML parser. So DOM parser, it will parse on based on these objects, and we can extract the data from this. So each programming languages have its XML parsers, and then we get the data from to the web server. So that's all about this XML basics. Now let's go into this XXC attack. So XML external entity attack is vulnerability that abuses features of XML parsers. So whenever this XML is going to parse our data, and we will inject a payload in this XML data such that XML parser on executing the payload will read a file or will DDoS a server, or you can even perform SSRF attack. So this is the XSC attack overview. And there are two types of these XXC attacks: inbound and outbound. Inbound means attack gets reflected immediately. That means response is get to the victim. To us. And the outbound XXC attacks, we need to output to some other file, and we need to view that file. So those are the two types of attacks. So why we use XML we have already seen. So one important thing I need to mention is XML allows validation using DTD. DTD stands for document type data definition, and this document type definition defines how an XML format should be. So there is a mail, this is called root element, and this is called a child element, and then you can see there are child elements to from subject text, and this is called data. And now as you can see, this is similar what I have told. So now they are asking some questions. Let's try to answer those. XML stands for extensible markup language. So is it compulsory to have XML product in XML documents? So this is just a good practice, but it's not a mandatory. Can we validate XML document signature schema? So that is called DTD schema, and there are some tools you can add the DTD schema and you can add the XML file. Then the tool will check against this schema. So this reminds me of all my this Java parsers when I have my Java course in my college. Then it's very horrible to just extract a small XML document into the data. So you get all this using the objects that get element by tag name, etc. So this is in Java. It's very hard. I don't know this XML parsing in Python, but I think it's very easy because Python is very easy, readable and writable than Java. So how can we specify XML version and encoding in XML document? So I think XML version. So how can you specify XML version and encoding? So we need to give in the starting XML version is equals to 1.0. So okay, let me come to this question again after doing some another tasks. So let's talk about this DTD, document type definition, and define the structure and legal elements of attributes of an XML document. So if this DTD is wrong, then our XML parser will just gives an error that these elements are not in the correct order. So let's take note of this. You can see note, and in this note we have four child elements, 2 from heading and body, and each child element have some data: Falcon, Feast, Hacking, XXC, Attack. So as you can see, doc type stands for root. This is the root node, note is the root node, and then we have this element node. So we are describing what are the sub elements or the child elements of this node, and the child elements of this node are 2 from heading and body. You can see 2 from heading, body, and we need to specify the what type of data is stored in between these child elements. You can see element 2 is defined as PC data. You can see PC data here means parsable character data, or you can simply say ASCII values, and 2 PC data from heading and body are defined as a PC data. So in XML it's simply strings. So we have a root node, and in that root node we are defining 4 child elements. Those consists of all the strings as a data type. So you can save this as some test.dtd, and you can just give it to a tool to check the DTD against this XML. So if there is another element, say suppose sample nickel sample, then it will fail because we have defined only 4 child elements. But if there is another element, then the tool gives error. You can see here doc type defines a root and element node, and these are the child elements of this root node. So how do you define a new element? Okay, how do you define? Okay, root element is using this doc type. How do you define new entity? I think this is element. Yes, element. I just confused it between this element and entity. So entity is also like storing a variables. Now let's see what a XSE payload is. Now let's see carefully here. In this data, the special characters are not allowed, like quotations, backward slashes, forward slashes, etc. Those are not allowed. Now how to implement those special characters in the data means you need to specify the variable. So you need to say entity name and you need to specify the feast. So whenever I use the ampersand name, then that feast value will be placed at the time of the XML parsing. It's like an external entity to this node, and we are defining some variables here, and we have defined the name variable, and it contains the feast value. So whenever I use this ampersand name semicolon, then this feast will get replaced here. Whenever XML parser on seeing this ampersand name, it will go and check this entities, and it has the name entity which is the value feast. So this feast value will get placed here. So in the same way, what if I just type this system file hc password? See, you can see file, this is a protocol, and it tells XML parser to read the contents or to get the contents from this file specified hc passwd. So this system specifies that you need to search in the system and search for the file hc passwd. So I am just using the root ampersand read. So this read defines to this entity which is to read the system file hc passwd. So that's, I think, I hope you have understood. That's all what these guys are saying here. Let me click on computing. Now let's go and exploit this. I have already run this server, and let me open this Kali Linux machine. So now I have gone into this home, and we have this payload area. Now we can submit our payloads. You can also Google the XXE payloads, and at this GitHub you have so many payloads here. You can see the basic XML to get the information of John and Doe, and simple entity replace John Doe. So let me show you this how it works. Now the output will be John Doe, because first it takes the John value, and then it goes and asks for the example variable which is Doe. You can see the output is John Doe. Now we can also see the same, but we can see the hc shadow file, and shadow file consists of hashes of users. So I think we don't have access to, web server don't have access to the hc shadow, and you can also perform this denial of service using all this random junk data. So we are not going to do that. So try to display your own name using any payload. So let me copy this payload, and then let me paste it in here. Let me change to and then I am going to change this to Nikhil. So let me submit this, and you can see my name has been displayed successfully. So let me click on this completed. See if you can read the hc passwd. Sorry. So let's copy this hc shadow, and let us replace this shadow with passwd. I'm sorry. Let's say passwd, and there you can see the contents of this passwd file has been displayed, and you can see there is a username called Falcon, an encrypted user id, group id, and some information. Home Falcon is the home folder of this Falcon user, and the bin bash is the shell which can be used by the Falcon. Okay, we got some information. What is name of the user in hc passwd, which is Falcon, and where is the Falcon's SSH key located? So SSH key is located in let me show you, in home folder, home Falcon and .ssh / id underscore rsa. This is the private key for this Falcon user. Let me submit this, and there you go, we got this private key for this Falcon user. So let me copy this path, sorry, Okay, let me type manually home falcon dot ssh and id underscore rsa. So what are the first 18 characters from the falcon's private key? So let me copy bunch of these characters. I think these are more than 18 characters. Let me open a Python interpreter. So s is equals to, so I'm just storing it as a string, and what I will do is I want to ask from 0 to 17, which is the 18 characters. So you no need to worry about the syntax. I will explain in the Python section. Now we have got the first 18 characters. So these are like indexes, 0 index 1 2 3 4 and so on. 0 to 17 gives the first 18 characters, right? Now let me paste this and submit this. So we have successfully completed this room, sorry, this just part. So what we have learned is, when there is an XML parser and when it's going to parse these contents, you can define an external entity and you can just uh, put the file name you want to read, and then you need to set the ampersand variable. So whenever that's being read by the XML parser, then it will read the system file and the contents will be displayed. So I hope you have understood. This is all about you need to know about this XML external entity attack. I also advise you to check all these payloads and perform all these denial of service and LFI, local file inclusion, etc. You can also search for Google and for other XSE payloads.